Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the circus. It's a circus. Life's a circus. He's being a giant derp this morning. I don't know what he's got. All of a sudden, he's got the worst case of ADD. I mean, normally, you know, we stop to smell the roses and the doo-doo. No, don't be digging in their new mulch. Get out of there. Thank you very much. But man, this morning it's like, I don't know. He's stopping every 3 feet and can't stop sniffing. I don't know what he's got his nose on, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Funny enough. Good morning, Maryland Squatch Watcher. How are you, buddy? Funny enough, last night, sitting in my living room, and I had just finished browsing on the internet for work, and I sat back to play a little video game, which, I don't do too often, but I found a good game last month that I really enjoy, so I've been playing it a little bit more than I normally would, because sometimes that PlayStation 5 will sit there for months and months and months without me touching it. But anyway, I was sitting back to play a video game last night, and from outside, first I think it's a video game. I hear a howl, and I'm like, oh, that's a video game. And then it happens again, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not coming from the TV. And then I realized that it was coming from outside. Excuse me, I had to take a morning puff on the vape. So I realized it was coming from outside, and it was not a Bigfoot howl. This was a coyote, a solo coyote. And you see my neighborhood. I walk around this neighborhood. It's there's not woods here. There's some behind these houses over here, and that patch of woods is probably about. Come on, let's go. Come on. Probably about 100 feet wide. So from where they start to where they hit the main road opposite. It's about the only woods we have around here besides the train tracks, which are way down. Well, not way down, but probably about a half a mile, quarter mile, half a mile down behind the old roller skating rink. And these things will trot. They'll come right through the neighborhood. They'll just trot down the middle of the road. So you can understand why I get nervous for the cats that I take care of outside, the cats that I love, because these buggers, man, they're ballsy. But anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. So for those of you who decide to check the community post, the community page, Thank you. So many people don't check it. And I don't know why. Because I can't put a regular post up any other way on YouTube than the community page. Just a pictured post. Come on, with some text. It's the only place I can do it. So, for those of you who checked the community page, you saw the post. Now, I'm gonna, Carson said he had a bunch of questions, and I told him, email me. I'll talk to you about it. I have no problem with that. It's fun for me to talk about that stuff, especially when there's something that exciting. But I'm going to tell you a few things now, answer some of those questions, I think. So the homeowners are an older couple, husband and wife. He's a country boy. He was raised as a hunter in the woods, fishing and hunting, and up in the northeastern corner of Connecticut on the border of Massachusetts. It's pretty country up there. If you've never been there, people don't think that of Connecticut, but it is country. There are farms and rolling hills as far as the eye can see. It's beautiful up there. So he's quiet, he's reserved. He doesn't, didn't believe in this stuff. And then he was kind of forced to when he woke up and found these prints. He just, that was when he emailed me. This stuff had been going on for 2 years on and off at his house. There's all kind of other strange stuff. Things going missing and then returning. Things going missing, returning, and then there being something else with them. Something hitting the house in the middle of the night. Big pile of rocks were found behind one of the outbuildings at the back of the property that he never goes behind. He just happened to go dump something back there, and so this big pile of rocks all sitting at the bottom of the shed. And then if you look at the shed, there's all these dings in it, paint chipping off, where it looks like something was just sitting in the woods tossing rocks at this thing for the longest time, and then they'd hit it and land on the ground below it, creating this pile. Let's go. Come on. Why are you being this way right now? Come on. Let's go. Maverick, come. You're not going to catch the squirrel, buddy. Come on. I hate to tell you. Come on. Let's go. So, all kind of other stuff going on. When he came to the conclusion and then realized after we talked that there was something else going on here, he was still, very reticent to want to really dive into it. And then when I showed him some of the other things that I thought pointed to this activity, you kind of see him shake his head and he smiled, and he just said, well, I guess you'd know better than most, and so I'm going to trust what you're telling me. He said, I got to wrap my head around this. I explained to him, generally when this happens, when people have activity on their property, it's because these things are interested in you. It doesn't mean that they want to harm you or anything like that. It just means that they're interested in you, just the same way that we would be them. You kind of become their entertainment. And to me, it also means that they have some level of trust for you to come onto your property, into your yard, by your house. They're smart, and I don't think they do that unless they have some kind of trust. So I explained to him that I wanted to come, I wanted to do some investigating, dig in a little deeper into the woods and all that stuff, and told him, I'd like to see if I can entice some activity. I said, no, I won't do it in your yard. I'll do it out in the woods. I said that they're not going to leave if I do it or not. they may start to show a little more activity if I go out there, start to entice it. But if they get used to it being in the woods, then maybe they'll stay away from the yard. I said, and you can also hang game cameras up, more game cameras up right around the perimeter of the property, all pointing at each other. I know it sounds like, a lot of money. And I said, but that'll keep them from coming in the yard. If there's a line, where they can't cross, they'll probably stay away. Because he had a couple, but they weren't really doing the job where they needed to be. And so he was like, he said, okay, I trust you. I said to him, I go, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I said, but from historical anecdotes, references, other people's encounters, they're probably going to interact with me or with you more. I will not leave them food. I won't do that because the food thing's bad in my eyes. You don't want to leave them food. They tend to get aggressive when you do that, and then you can't do it anymore for whatever reason. I'll just give you one example. A friend of mine who does this Bigfoot thing, he's been doing it longer than I have. He's got activity up on a property near his house, and that property all connects to the woods by his house. Well, he was feeding them. He was leaving them food. And then he got hurt and he couldn't go out anymore. So when they expected the food, it wasn't every day, but when they expected it and it didn't come, the first couple times nothing happened. After a couple weeks, he woke up one morning, there was a full whole coyote leg, hip attached, that was torn off of a coyote. And it was sitting right on his back deck. So that was, to me, that was their way of saying, listen, pal, we know where you live and we want our food. So I'm not going to do the food thing. I'll do natural stuff. He was okay with that. I have free reign to go up there. I never asked if I could bring anybody. I didn't want to push it too much. And so I'm going to go up there starting this weekend, and we're going to see what we can find. This, to me, I have not been this excited since I started doing this stuff. This is what I've been begging for. This is, and I hope, I'm praying that I didn't wish something into existence that's going to be something that's too much for me. I'm praying. Hope I didn't manifest something that's going to be too much. So we'll see. But those prints, man, it was so much luck that we had rain, that he had, and also that he had gone out and had a small burn back there, and sprayed it all to put it out. So and the ground around it too, just so it didn't spread, And so the ground out there was nice and damp. It was perfect for footprints. And man, did it ever leave them. So 17 inches long by 8 inches wide. I mean, I don't know any human being with those proportions. That's a massive, massive foot. You could see too in the toes where it looks, like when it takes the step, that it almost curls its toes, like it squeezes them together towards the ball of the foot, because it creates this ridge right there. Crazy looking. Now, some of them obviously, he tried his best, because we were getting rain again the next day, or that day. He tried his best to preserve them. He put a tarp over them, but you can see one of the pictures, part of the print kind of got washed away, the detail did, but he did a really good job of preserving the others. God bless him for trying. And then that print on the car, when it happened, it was you could see, it was clear to see but hard to see, if that makes sense. There was such a glare on that window that it was hard trying to get an angle where you could see the details good. You could tell it was something, but it was just kind of smudgy. God bless pollen, because over the last few days, the pollen has continued to stick to it. And it created basically what amounts to, like, when they find fingerprints somewhere and they dust them, that's what it did. And it brought out every detail in that thing, in all of those things. And when I saw the full detail, that's when I got really baffled and really shocked. I mean, I was shocked before. When I saw that full detail, that's when I went, holy cow. Clearly looks like a palm to me. It's and it's much, much bigger than my hand, much bigger. And then the other bigger one looks like an arm, looks like a forearm. That's to the best that I could tell. You could see hairs, almost individual hairs, kind of scraping through. You could see pores in some spots. I mean, it's weird. It's very weird. Yeah, could it be a person? Yeah, it could be. Why, if it's a person, would it be so damn greasy? I mean, it's greasy. And not like me or you leave. I mean, my sweaty ass tried to recreate it on one of the other windows, and I couldn't do it. I tried using my sweaty forehead, tried rubbing the sweat on my hand and doing it, and it just didn't make it. So yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. You're right, Mary. I think I'm gonna try to do that. Get some cardstock and see if I can't put it onto the cardstock. See what we can come up with there. I almost wonder too, like, now probably it's no good, since the day it happened, but I should have thought about it then, about taking a swab of it right off the window on a Q-tip and seeing if, anybody, anywhere would want to test it for DNA. Obviously, I can't pay for a DNA test. It's too damn expensive. But, piece of evidence that somebody could, if they wanted to, test it for that. I wonder if it's still possible. I don't know. Probably not, though. It's been outside for almost a full week now. But it's very interesting. Yeah, Carson. I know the greasy stuff it's just weird. It's like, I wonder why. I wonder what it does or what it is. It's like looking at it, and I'll be honest with you, I touched it because I was trying to tell if it was inside the window, because at first it looked like it was inside. And I was like, well, it couldn't possibly be inside the window. The car was locked, right? Or could it? And so I was touching it just to see, and then I went outside and did the same thing. It's really like almost waxy, if that makes sense. It's waxy. It's weird, man. It's very weird. But the print, the footprints, man, I'll tell you what. So the back of the prints, the definition on a lot of them didn't show as well as the front. You could see it, but it just wasn't as good. They were so wide, front to back, like almost the same width in the heel as at the front of the foot. They were so big and wide. It was crazy. The ones that I've seen in Patchogue, have had a noticeable taper from the front to the back. One of them was really narrow at the heel, and then the other two were slightly more narrow as they went back. But this thing was like Flintstone foot. I mean, it was just this big, blocky, wide thing from front to it was crazy. They're just crazy looking. And the ground here, let me tell you about the ground here. You can't walk on the ground here. Even after we could have days and days of downpouring rain, and you can't walk on the ground here without and you'd have a hard time leaving anything significant in the ground because there's so much rock in this sediment. Just so much rock. It's hard. The ground here is so hard. If you go out in your backyard and dig a hole, you have to dig a hole to put a post in, or if you got to put a deck up or something like that. If you don't have a machine, people around here always are like, "Oh my God, this is gonna suck so bad," because you're going to be digging your shovel in and ding, ding, ding. So it's very hard. And that print, especially those toes, really, really dug into that ground pretty deep. Pretty deep. Yeah, it's possible, Lady Wolf. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I just wonder why. I wonder why it's greasier, right? There's just got to be a reason. There's a reason for everything. There's a reason why we sweat in the way we do, and why our sweat carries what it does when it leaves our bodies. Why is theirs greasier? And I don't know that anyone's ever really dug into that. And I'm curious. I'm going to see if there's anything I can find today about great apes or monkeys or anything like that that has anything to do with um, greasy sweat or I don't know. It's just weird. It's very strange. Very strange. I'm curious. I'm curious if it has anything to do um, with their ability to hide well. I wonder if maybe it has some kind of um, camouflaging properties where it absorbs color or reflects color and light. Um, I wonder if it's something that protects their skin during all types of weather. Maybe it's something that helps keep their hair, nice and smooth. It's I don't know. It's crazy. Must give you a neat feeling traveling around with that print right there to look at. It's pretty crazy to look out the window and see it. I'll tell you. Um, I couldn't help myself going out there yesterday, the day before, a few times just to take a peek at it. Uh, because it's so crazy. It doesn't matter how much I do this stuff. It doesn't matter how much evidence I see or gather. It doesn't matter how many experiences I have. All of it, every time, still brings me so much wonder, and it still all makes me go, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand any of it. And this is why I tell people, be wary of the people who tell you that they know. Be wary of the people who act like they have all the answers, because no one does. And the second somebody starts saying that they're special, they have all the answers, they know this, that, and the other, and they're not just as surprised, as excited, as baffled, as I am, then I start to, then that's when I go, well, I'm, I don't think it's about the subject matter anymore. It's more about, look at me, I'm great. Because if these creatures, these beings, these forest people, if they were just out there showing themselves to people constantly all the time, they wouldn't be what they are. They wouldn't be a secret. They wouldn't have been a secret this long. We wouldn't still be questioning everything and confused about so much. Now, I'm not saying that like, if you're gonna trust anybody, here's what I say. If you're gonna trust anybody who says that they know things about them, trust the Native Americans, trust the First Nations people. Those are the people that I would trust. And again, even then, I know that as human beings, we tend to create things, um, as tales to tell our children and more generations to come, and elaborate on them a little bit. Uh, we 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 change things to our liking. I'm not saying they did that, but I'm just saying that, as things get passed on, that can happen. But if there's any people that I believe when they say, we that they had a relationship with them, that they interacted with them closely many years ago, it would be the First Nations people. Um, it makes sense. It just makes sense to me. But people going around today saying, they're interacting with them, and now, okay, so let me rephrase that. That these things are showing themselves to them every day, constantly. They've got all the answers. They know the secrets, yada yada. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't buy it, and it's not helping. It's just not helping. Be careful. Just be careful. If someone is not just so filled with wonder and mystery about this stuff, and just as bewildered now, um, as they were when they began, I just wonder about it. That's all I'm saying. Indigenous people do know. Indigenous people do know. There's a reason for that. Oh, please, if you could find that discussion, let me know. Um, they do know. They were here first, man. They were here first before this planet was, this country was corrupted, and this planet was corrupted. They were here working as one with it, and everything around them. It makes total sense. It just does. It fits. Um, they have totems, and on these totems are all real animals, and included in that totem is a Sasquatch. Why would they put a fake creature on a totem with all other real animals that they revere, that they believe are so special? Um, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to do that. Agreed, Carson. And Lady Wolf, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm having a very hard time with this show, and I don't know what I'm going to do. You know why I haven't had as many guests on? Because I can't I can't keep just having people in the Bigfoot community on just because they're part of the Bigfoot community if I don't truly believe in what they're saying. I can't do that. It's not good for the subject, and it makes me guilty by association if I just have them on to have them on. And I don't know what I'm going to do because I feel like I'm running out of real, credible people to have on the show. Um, you know, I'm trying. I know there's other credible people out there, but it's just like when it's the ego show, when somebody says if you try to tell them that you don't know, or they say something and you say, oh, hey, it's possible, but who knows? We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. And they get upset and they say, but I do know. I do know. Wait and see. I do know. And then you just continue waiting. Nothing ever happens. These same people say this over and over again. Wait and see. Wait and see. And nothing happens. They don't produce anything that's really tangible. You don't see clear prints. You don't see clear photographs. You don't get good audio. You know, um, I applaud the people who are going out there and doing this stuff day after day, and they accept when shit don't happen. Right? I go out. I go out every weekend. Just about most of the time, nothing happens. Nothing happens. And even sometimes I think I'm hearing knocks or something. I don't know if that's for sure what's going on. Could be something else. Sounds like maybe it could be, but who knows? And I always preface that when I say, hey, it sounded like I heard a knock, but I don't know. Sounded like rocks clacking, but I don't know. Um, it's just crazy. Just beware. Beware. Hey, Ben, what's up, buddy? Um, yeah, just be careful. Be careful. I hate to see the excitement. I think the other thing that happens is the excitement that people get about the subject. They wanting to have something, wanting to see something, and then by doing that, they end up buying into the wrong people. I'm not even saying I'm the right person. I don't. I always said I do not believe for one instant that I'm going to be the person that solves any of this. I'm not going to be. I'm not. I'm not smart enough. I'm not cunning enough. I'm not adapted enough in the woods in nature. Um, I don't know the things that people um, like Joe and Jesse from Hellbent Holler. Like, you talk about some smart cookies, man. Those two are so damn smart. And the way they approach this, I think, like, I just have so much respect for them, so much respect for them. I talk to Joe often because I admire what they do. He's of the same belief system that, um, he doesn't know. He just can go off of what he sees and what he thinks. They've seen weird, big, strange lights, uh, and tried to film them and couldn't catch it on film. And then one out of two times they caught something on thermal. So that's a 50% success rate there. That's pretty good. But again, what is it? Joe will tell you. He don't know. He's got no idea. Yep, absolutely love the Hellbenders. Thank you, Carson. Thank you very much. Yeah, it doesn't happen often at all. And if someone's telling you it does, okay, so let's say this, all right? This is why the private property thing was so important to me, because if you look at some stories of people who had activity on their property, this is a very condensed um, uh, place where activity tends to happen more often, right? And these people who have it have evidence. I don't know if you remember Kerry's documentaries. You remember the gentleman named Mark Copeland, Livewire? He was having them like they were coming on his property. His kids said he saw the dark man watching him from the woods, and he got himself a little go-kart and came down the driveway and said, he won't catch me now. And they asked him, who won't catch you? And he said, the dark hairy man who watches me from the woods at the bus stop. Um, he had shadows. He had stuff on cameras. This is what I mean by like this private property stuff where activity tends to happen a little more often. Well, it happens more often because it's in an area where it's happening and that area is small, right? These are few and far between, this private property stuff. And most people who have it wish they didn't have it. But if you're going out in the woods all the time and you're looking, it don't happen often, man. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. So you get feelings out there more than anything. You'll feel it before you see it, before you hear it. You'll feel it, and you can't quantify feeling, right? You can't. It's not tangible. You can't bring that to somebody and show them that. So it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day to anybody else or to the subject. To you, it does. To me, it does when it's happening to you, but not to anybody else. It's just not a tangible thing. So it's yeah. I'm approaching this the way that I always have, with a few tweaks. I'm going to this property. I'm going to go in. I'm going to ask for permission to be there. I'm going to state what my intentions are. I'm going to carry a positive, loving attitude. And I'm just gonna hang, man. I'm gonna walk around like I do, like I'm on a hike, enjoying the woods, because I am. And I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna sing, um, and see what happens. See what happens. I'm gonna bring things to gift to uh, nature or to whatever may be out there. Yeah, no, that this is part of the reason why I wouldn't put the video out, because when I film there, it's really hard. Like, you're filming, you're in the middle of talking, I'm spinning around, I'm getting him on camera when I don't mean to. And I'm just not that great at editing. Plus, it takes too gosh darn long. So I figured I would just put the prints out. And I'm still trying to get the audio onto my stupid computer, because that's pretty crazy stuff too. Uh, something grabs the recorder, is tapping it, is fiddling with it. Um, you can hear heavy breathing, like this heavy breath, and this. I don't know. I can't do it, but something like that. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. Very weird. I don't know no animals around here that make that noise. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. I hear you, Carson, brother. I do. Trust me. I wish that I could find an elder to a tribe in the area that may have had relatives or ancestors that had interaction with these forest people to speak with. The other thing, Lady Wolf, I agree with you about the people who don't go out, yet they'll critique everybody's friggin' videos. Pieces of shit. And there's a few that I really can't stand to do that. Never been out in the woods a day in their life, yet they have the answers. They can tell you that this person's video is crap. No. But the ones that really bother me are the ones that go out and they just lie. They just flat out lie, and there's a lot of them, and they know who they are. They lie. They're telling you that this is a Bigfoot. That's a Bigfoot. There's tons of them all around. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. If there was 8 Bigfoots around you all the time, where's the real proof? Not just a dark spot in the woods. At some point, you'd have to have something tangible: a footprint, a handprint, hair, a real picture of something clear. If it's that crazy, there's got to be something. But yet they don't produce anything that's really, really clear or um, or good. Here's my thing. if it's got to be if it's got to be like fixed and filtered and flucked with and all that, then it's not clear enough. Just saying. Just saying. They're on YouTube. They're on TV. Um, yeah, they're all over. Yep. Agreed. Agreed, Benny. Agreed. And I'm telling you, the more that you're doing this YouTube thing, right, the more you're going to see it. The more you actually get out there and you know what's going on, when you start to feel it, when you start to experience it, when you start to hear it, when you start to smell it, you start to get in tune more with it. And then you watch these folks on YouTube, they're just lying. They're just lying. They're making shit up. They're making shit up. And sometimes I wonder if there maybe isn't some kind of mental health issues. And if that's the case, then I feel bad. He's having a blast right now with this bottle. Get it. Don't step on your leash. You're going to hold it down. You're just having a grand old time. Get it. Get it, Pele. Get it. You're tangled. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Step over. There you go. Good boy. Right, Carson. Right. They don't want to tell people, for the most part, especially, you know, the white man who tends to just kind of mess everything up and ruin things and turn it into whatever it is they want to turn it into for their own ego and purposes, and not keep it special and spiritual and all that stuff. Yeah, agreed. So just watch. Just watch. Don't buy into everything. Don't listen to everybody who tells you that they have all the answers. I don't have the answers. I don't have any of the answers. I don't have any of the answers. I'm nobody. I don't know shit. I don't know shit. I'm just a guy. I'm I'm an I'm that 8-year-old kid who saw a picture of Nessie in a book at the library, and then saw the Patterson Gimlin footage, and was so excited to know more and to see something like that, because the possibility to me was the most exciting, cool thing I could ever imagine. I'm just that kid who um, grew up, who got a little bigger, was able to go out in the woods and try to see one of these things for myself. Um, I'm just as excited and just as baffled. Just as baffled. Oh, thank you, Carson. My fear from the horrendous experience I had on the base stops me from wanting any further sight of them. I just can't start to shake. Oh, and that's that. I'm sorry that was what happened to you. It happens to many people. These encounters sometimes are not great. I believe that there are they're just like you and me. Every one of them is different from the next. Personality wise, physically, all of that. I do believe that for the most part, they're good, because I like to believe that about us too. For the most part, most people are good. You're always going to have those ones that maybe aren't. Um, oh, Carson, that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Well, don't let him, Lady Wolf. Don't let him. Don't let him. This dude is having a ball right now. Who would have known a giant Snapple bottle would have been the best toy to buy him? He's having a ball with this thing. Dirt and a Snapple bottle. Happiest kid at camp. Get it, Pele. Get it, Pele. You all done with it? We got to get going anyway. Come on, let's go. We got to go. Come on. Come on, it's time to go. We got to go. I know. I'll get you a water bottle to play with in the house. How's that? All right. All right, guys. Listen, I got to get going. I got to get him inside. I got to get my butt on the computer. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a really fun conversation with you guys. I love you all. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't think I'm going to have a guest this week. I was trying to get a couple people, but one of them was supposed to, and then something came up last minute. They're trying to do something with some of the, they're going to one of the places that they investigate normally. I guess, I don't know, something happened. And then the other person was a possible, but wasn't really discussed about the date. But I'm probably going to do a show. Maybe tomorrow or maybe this weekend, besides going out in the woods. I'll save it for when the show happens, what it's going to be about. But it's going to have a topic, but it's going to be loose too. So it'll be fun. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all. Sorry, had to switch hands. Yes, Carson, email me, man. Email me. I'd love to talk to you. It goes for anybody else. If you want, email me. If you do, please in the subject line either write encrypted connections or Bigfoot. That way I know right away, and I can see it, because I get so many emails. It's stupid, and they're from stuff that I don't want anything to do with. So yeah. All right, guys. I'll check you later. Till the next time. I love you all. Peace and chicken grease. Come on.